Hello. Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Voss. So I realized that for the first time in my life, I've probably been a victim of a cyber attack myself, because clearly you stole my speaking points that were on my computer. I thought safely. So, truly, Mr. Voss gave a very good overview of the Cybersecurity Act, our initiatives on ENISA, and certification. And so there's no point in repeating it. But I think his last comments on labeling and expertise give me, let's say, a segue to discuss with you the range of actions and activities that are necessary, let's say, to improve cybersecurity. So the Cybersecurity Act, of course, is our latest, one of our latest initiatives. As some of you or most of you may know, last year in September, we put forward a communication on improving the resilience, deterrence and defense in Europe. And there are a range of activities, going all the way from activities at the international level, diplomatic activities, coming through resilience-related activities in such as the Cybersecurity Act or the so-called blueprint, the recommendation for coordinated response, and of course the very important activities in deterrence and cybercrime, which of course our excellent colleagues in the European Cybercrime Center in The Hague play there an important role. So clearly there's no one single thing that needs to be done. We need to do a lot of things in parallel. Sometimes it's hard to coordinate all these different activities. It's also hard to find the right, let's say, priority, because sometimes international issues flare up, sometimes attacks or specific incidents. Like 2 years ago there was the Mirai botnet, so this got the whole IoT thing going. Then we had WannaCry, now we have the latest developments with third countries. So again, you were right, cybersecurity is always in the news. One person told me that cyber security should be called cyber job security, because it's not a problem that will go away anytime soon. Now that being said, and because my, let's say, area of focus this period is certification, I'd just like to make the link of where I believe certification fits in this global picture. And more or less, we believe that certification, cybersecurity certification, is about two things. So improving trust and reducing uncertainty. So when a company or a consumer chooses or wants to buy a product, certification for anything, not just for security, for other properties as well, but certification by an independent third party can give, let's say, more trust that whatever the product is saying it does is actually being done. So in cybersecurity, that's what we want to achieve. If a product saying that it performs 1, 2, 3, 4 functions, that there is an independent check to make sure. Because especially for the consumers or even for the normal businesses that do not have in-house teams to verify each product they procure, it's very difficult to make those measurements, very difficult to understand whether the product they are buying is secure or not. So we believe that certification has a benefit. And what we want, of course, is that certification is performed in the same way across the EU, the digital single market. Because we don't want to put our vendors or our manufacturers or service providers in a situation where they have to certify in a different way in each member state. So that's the essence of the cybersecurity, European cybersecurity certification. Putting in place a mechanism that will allow cybersecurity certification to be approached in the same way. Another very important element in certification is that we do not all face the same risks, and the products are not used in the same way. So, for example, the same one product may be used for me at home. A similar kind of product may end up in a factory or storing valuable intellectual property. So certification has to be risk-based, and in our consultation we quickly came to the solution, to the conclusion that we cannot have one set of standards or one set of requirements or even one set of assessment methodologies, how you measure security or that the requirements have been met. So we cannot have one set of these standards that are universally applicable to all products for all uses under all circumstances. So we need a flexibility and a mechanism to produce perhaps more than one such European scheme. And that, of course, is detailed in our proposal. The role of industry, as Mr. Voss said, is key, so is the role of member states. And that is what we've put forward. And now we hope that by the end of this year we will have a political agreement in the trilogues between the Council and the Parliament, leading to an adoption early next year. And then, let's say, the real hard work starts to put forward these schemes, to create a consensus. We've placed quite an important responsibility on the shoulders of ENISA to consult all the stakeholders and bring possibly diverging views to the table to come up with a common approach. So I will stop here for now, and I'm very much looking forward for any questions on this or any other interesting points mentioned so far. Thank you.